they managed to do it, Paul. Not convincingly though. On Saturday night, I thought this, like I said last week, I felt they wouldn't win as a style. They'd probably fall over the line. They definitely did fall over the line because they didn't play well at all Saturday. Um, if we look on chances created, maybe the best chances. I know City had a lot of the ball and had a few chances as well, but if you look particularly in the second half, I think Inter Milan had the best chances. It's just that the one chance that Manchester City pretty much got on target with Rodri. I mean, he buried it, and a bit of luck involved in it too. It was a cross, was deflected, and it fell from nice and drove it into the bottom to the keeper's left hand corner. So 1-0 win. Few hairy moments. Lukaku had a gilt-edged chance, and they did the match to bring it to extra time. He missed it. They had it just before the whistle blew. They had a corner, and Edison made a fine save. So, not to say they won it, but not convincing. But I think you have to take it over the whole season. I think they have been the best team in England, the best team in the Cup, and now the best team in Europe. They've won the treble. They've equaled the team in 1989, and they're going from strength to strength, Paul. It's next season. They could do 4-1 league. You never know. It hasn't been done. It hasn't been done in the Premier League era. I don't know. It hasn't been done before that.
I'm not sure. No, I'd have to go back in my memory bank, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. I can't recall it anyway.
Yeah. United with Ferguson didn't do it. United with Ferguson did 3 in a row twice. But
no, if you go back to the 1920s, Huddersfield Town won 3 in a row, and in the manager he went to Arsenal, and I think they won 3 in a row in the early 30s. So that's the only one I can recall, but I don't recall it 4 in a row anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's you have to go way back if it has been done in English football. So look, they didn't play well, but they got the job done. They took that big chance that they got. Rodri, the man who was left out of the Champions League final 2021, I suppose it was a bit of payback, a bit of he should have started in 21. He didn't, but yeah, he got the goal and given the Bayern off injured again, but Manchester City managed to get over the line and they've won the treble now. So it's a huge achievement in English football, huge achievement in European football. So we have to mention, of course, the charges as well as hanging over 115 charges for financial fair play for the Premier League. So that has to be said as well.
And sorry, no, if I could have crossed you there now, is that just the Premier League, or would that overlap into the Champions League as well, or is it just a domestic?
As far as I know, UEFA had their charges against them 2-3 years ago. They were charged, but then they appealed it and they managed to get off. They had a 2-year ban actually from UEFA competitions, but they had that overturned by the Court of Arbitration. So this one now is the Premier League. I think it's the Premier League investigation. There's 115 charges, but this will drag on 2-3 years. I mean, it took them 3 or 4 years to bring the charges together between lawyers and court cases and God knows what now is going to happen over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 people. This will not be finished quickly. Pep Guardiola says, I want this over and done with quickly, but that's not going to happen with lawyers and appeals now and everything like that. This could take another 3, 4 years just to be resolved. So this will be hanging over the club, but I think the fans today and Pep, they probably won't care really, and the players will move on if anything major does happen, but I can't see anything major happening anyway.
Yeah, like no, again, no, sorry if I could have. If you go back to Italy a number of years ago, because you were talking the motion 9 or 10 years ago, Juventus, retrospectively, there was 2 league championships, or Scudettos taken off and Serie A titles taken off them, and they were actually relegated down to the second division, the Serie B.
Yeah.
That was a real severe. Now, I know there's a history in Italy going back even to the 1980s, but that happened to Juventus. That was only maybe at most 10 years ago, 18 years ago. Now, I don't know, is there any history that happened in England? I just don't know, but could it be a worst case scenario? Could it be like that? That there could be even that severe? There could be stripped of the league titles and relegated?
I doubt it. I just think with the backing the City have, the court cases, the lawyers, nothing seems to be able to. They can't seem to pin anything on them. If they are guilty of anything, now these are allegations, these are charges.
Yeah, and entitled, like every allegation, you're entitled to your presumption of innocence.
That's right, but I just feel they have the backing, they have the power. That if anything does happen, it'll be points deduction, not a relegation. If anything like that happens, and look, this team is so strong. I mean, they've won the Premier League title now by 5 points. They could have won by a lot more. They won. I think they won the they got the 100 points in the Premier League. They won it by something like 18 or 19 points anyway. So, like, if they got like 20 points deduction,
they're still finishing the top 4, you're saying, for definite.
They'll definitely run it close anyway. Maybe 30 points, maybe not, but definitely 20. They can still. I mean, if you look at the gap between first and fourth place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a 20 point deduction, they'll really get a run for the money and get into the top four and get into Europe that way anyway.
Yeah.
And if there is a point deduction, they might go and win the Champions League and be in the Champions League next season if they finish outside the top four. And I think next year, Paul, there is this coefficient coming in where I think I think it's one of Europe's top leagues that if the English clubs do really well next season in Europe, I think there's something like a 5th place spot going for one of the teams, one of the leagues in Europe. I forget how it works now exactly, but there's talk that a 5th place team in the best league in Europe can get into the Champions League next season. I think there's something coming in for next season or the season after, as far as I know. But
sorry for cutting across you. Going back to England again, a couple of years ago, was it Derby County got relegated? There was some financial stuff, or they didn't meet some regulations. And I think they got relegated. Or did they got a points deduction? And that kind of means...
Yeah, they got a massive points deduction when Wayne Rooney was there. And he almost kept them up, but the deduction was just too severe to keep them up. They are relegated. They were in the Champions League, got relegated to League One. But again, I'm not saying, I'm not being pessimistic here, but I'm definitely on the City side. I'm on Chelsea side, but I just feel that whatever they'll get, they'll be able to manage it.
Yeah.
I can't see, like, they're a big massive brand. They're whatever but the Premier League. Yes, they're broken rules in the Premier League, allegedly from the Premier League side.
Allegedly, and we should always say that again. You're entitled to your presumption of innocence. These are only...
That's it. Very different. But I think they're so big now. They've got the stars. They got Pep. They got Haaland. They got everything like that. Now, obviously, they can all move on. But I just feel like are they too big to take down as well? Is what I would think. No, that might be wrong. The Premier League might be able to give them a severe punishment if they are found guilty. But I just have a funny feeling that if anything, it's going to be points deduction. It won't be too massive, and it won't be a relegation. I just feel there's something like that. The biggest thing I think will happen be a points deduction. I don't see him getting relegated. That's my own general view.
Yeah. So, but again, if we just look at football, before we move on to the next topic, looking for next year, they won't know they're at the top of the mountain. Will Guardiola stay on? Will the players stay on? The top players, will they be able to even to have the hunger again to go on? Because when you're getting to the very top, they would say the Champions League. This was the big. Once they dominated England, the Champions League was the big mountain to climb, the big Everest. They have done that. So will they be even able to have the motivation, just in pure terms of football and sport, to carry on?
Well, but Ferguson had to rebuild a side about 2 or 3 times because he might have felt that some certain players didn't have the hunger. Now with Roy Keane there when he was manager, when he was captain, he wouldn't allow that. But it does happen. Like, some players might feel to move on. I mean, there's talk of Bernardo Silva going. There's talk of Gundogan, the captain, going because he's out of contract. I think he wants a new challenge. Maybe go to Barcelona. So there will be players that move on, and Pep will probably have to decide, when he brings in the players, are they as good as the players are leaving? So, and you could have something like that as well. And it's I think Pep will have the hunger, definitely. We must not remember. I think though we must not forget though, at February he gave an interview after the Tottenham game. They won 4-2, but they were 2-0 down at half time, and he said, "I don't know. He says something like, "I don't recognize my team. They don't seem to have the hunger anymore." No, they got it back because he said that himself, that we're not playing as well as we can. And from the last international break in March, they just blitzed teams. They went on like a 14-game winning run. Everyone was waiting up till March. Our City finally going to this major run that they do normally every season. They've done it to Liverpool numerous times, and they did. So I personally think that the 4 in a row has never been done. There's a reason why it hasn't been done in the league and in the English Premiership. And I just have to feel there's more hope next season than ever with City, because the 4 in a row is very hard to do. As you said, hunger might come into it. They won the treble. They'll want more trophies, obviously, but will they want to go again to push the extra mile? And I think if Liverpool would chase them next season instead of Arsenal, I think Liverpool could get there. But I think Liverpool have to strengthen that midfield before they can mount the title challenge again next season.
Yeah.